I call upon Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, Jesus Christ, Gaia. I ask for guidance on what wants to be shared right now. Please guide my words, guide my actions, guide my thoughts. May it be uplifting to the ones receiving it. I can feel them. I can feel them. And the way that I sense these beings are through sort of like goosebumps over my body. It's like a confirmation that I've learned to trust. And that's how they show me that they're here. They're confirming. So in this way, it's really important to know what our signals mean for the body. I absolutely love this time because it's such a magical time to be out, because everything is consolidating. All of the energies are consolidating. They're coming to a close. They are settling. It's changing. And it's just in that in-between state. There's so much magic. The same as when the sun rises. But I find it even more when the sun is like this. It's just gone down. You can see it behind me. And all of the energies are, it's like taking stock. What did we do today? Like it's a natural winding down of the energy. And we're meant to just from here, just after this, just go to bed. That's the natural flow of these bodies. That's the natural rhythm. We've been trained into a different rhythm where we have lights. Now I have lights. Lights in the apartment, lights everywhere. And so that's artificial. And so our bodies are getting artificially trained to adjust to a different rhythm. And so it's not the natural rhythm that we're adjusting to. And so it's important for us to recognize that, so that we try to adjust and know, and one thing that I want to say is that these bodies, many beings are behaving as if they're not walking around with a wild animal. We're not so wild anymore. But these bodies are still has this animal nature. All of these instincts. And so it's important to just recognize that this body has a functioning that is more in harmony with the natural rhythms of the planet, which is when the sun is up, these bodies function the best. When the sun is down, these bodies, we can still force it to function. And that's what we've done. But I have noticed, this is interesting, but I've noticed that the habitual behaviors is much easier when the sun is down. It's easier to get caught into those habitual behaviors that are not beneficial for the body. Like the nudge to go and eat something unhealthy or watch something and just be, it's nothing wrong with doing that. Everything in moderation. But I'm talking about the natural flow and what's naturally going to be the most healthy for these systems in the long run. And so now we're talking about habits that are helpful for these bodies to function, because we're in a time now that is very interesting, because we have trained these systems to function so artificially. Like we have phones that we're watching all hours of the day, and we're almost letting the phone dictate what we should continue doing, because it's feeding an habitual behavior. Why? Because we haven't taken control over the body. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect, because I also can fall for these things. But I'm very aware that when I'm in something that's unhealthy, and I know what to do to get out of it. And it's not always that simple as just putting the phone down, because sometimes it's linked to other things. So it's good to investigate things. And so what I feel they wanted to talk about, because I feel sometimes them, and so sometimes I go in certain areas that, but we want to, it's like they want to talk about this thing. And so they want me to emphasize the thing about the way that we are operating as humans right now. And AI, all of these things are very artificial, and they're not functioning under the natural laws of Gaia. And so it's really important for us, if we want to continue to live on the planet in a harmonious way, that we learn to operate these systems. Don't get too caught up in all this AI stuff and keeping up with the trend and keeping up with like all of these things. Do it if it's fun, if it's a joyful thing. But if it becomes like you have, otherwise you're being lost, what am I trying to say? Otherwise you're being left behind. Like sometimes it can be so fast that you feel like you're being left behind, and that's not it. Then you are disconnected from the body. And it's so important to connect back into the body, because it's only from your body's perspective. And why am I saying this? It's because if you're connected to your phone and you're on your phone, you're not in your body. You're inside your phone. And what do I mean by that? Your attention is inside a reality in the phone. And what that means is that your body, the way that it functions is that whatever we pay attention to, we receive information about. So if we constantly are paying attention to these phones, then we are receiving information from an artificial device. And so we are feeling things that might not be, not even might not. It is not natural for us to function like a robot. We're meant to be connected to Gaia, to this planet. And the more we're focused on things that are outside of us, we are losing track of what's important, which is to connect with who we truly are. And that is such a saying that many people use. It almost feels like, oh, well, okay, everyone says that. Whatever does that mean? But it is you connected to your body, using your focus, your God-given gift, to feed yourself with energy, for example. And when you do that, there's so much more. These systems, these bodies, they're so much more advanced than AI. So much more. But many beings haven't even started figuring out their own bodies. And now I'm talking about more the enlightenment, the yogis, people that have managed to do mystical things like send electricity through their fingers, levitate. All of those things are actually possible, is what I believe. I haven't seen it with my own eyes, but I can feel the resonance of that being a possibility. But that is only if the surroundings and the person that have anchored their own energies deep enough in their bodies, to the extent and into Gaia, to the extent that they can work with the energies. But it can't be done by someone just keeping their attention everywhere. It has to be done in connection with Gaia, this planet. This is confirmation for me. When Gaia does this, this is what I've learned. And sometimes it can just seem like, oh, it's just wind. Yeah, but I pay attention to when does that wind come. There are no accidents. Everything is a reflection of what's going on. And especially when it's something like this, when I'm communicating with you about such an important topic for everyone to connect deeper with their bodies. Everyone has been talking about enlightenment. Not everyone. I have been so focused on enlightenment. I've been wanting enlightenment. That's the truth. It's been a lot of like, is this really possible? It's been portrayed as impossible, actually. It's been portrayed as like, who are you to think that's possible? Look around you. No one is flying. No one is doing anything like that. It's being portrayed as you're being a superhero. But we are superheroes. It's just that we haven't learned what actually is important. And what I'm teaching is just level 1. It's just the first level that people need to comprehend in order to get to those other levels. Well, it's not me, it's them through me. And I'm receiving it because of my desire for it. I have to remember to look around, because although I really enjoy recording videos at this time, but I also really enjoy just looking. There's something really satisfying for the body to just look out, look at all the colors of the sky. It's really satisfying to the body when you're connected. If you're not connected, this stuff doesn't mean anything. I've been there. I've been disconnected. I know. I have no desire to go and watch a sunset when I'm in watching something or doing something else on the computer, or preoccupied and disconnected from this natural. I remember. But it's like when you're connected to the body, it's like the body tells you, hey, can we go out? It's like a dog. Your body is like a dog. Like, it's the same signals that you will receive from your body when you start to befriend your body, and you start to connect, and you start to love it, and you start to enjoy, and you start to understand what this actually is, this experience. You are a magnificent creature. You are so wonderful. You have been through so much to get here. And your body has been through so much. And you haven't been given the right manual. Hopefully, you have gotten a lot of this. I know for my sake, I was studying spiritual books for years and years and years. It was my favorite thing. I didn't even believe that I liked reading when I was in school, because I read the wrong things. And once I discovered, wow, you can read about this, I was hooked. One of my favorite books has been A Course in Miracles. And the reason why it has been my favorite book is because it has been an attunement, a frequency adjustment for my body. And I felt that. I have felt the connection that has produced. I have felt like it has corrected a lot of things in my field, which is similar what I hope these will do for you. Will make these small little adjustments so that you get energetically uplifted. Today, I experienced something really magical. I went out, I went out, and I saw all of these, it seemed like dragonflies. I'm not entirely sure what type of insect it was, but they were quite big. And it was at least 50, maybe 100, and they were just swirling around. And I was looking around, and they were just above my place. That was the fascinating thing. And it was like Gaia. It was Gaia showing me that I'm doing something magical here. I am connected with her. These are the confirmations that you can receive when you are connected through your body down to Gaia. And what Gaia does is that she shows you how connected you are through experiences like this. And like that, if you heard that, there was a gecko that was saying, or whatever they say. And I can feel that. I can feel that there is a communication here. And that's what you can tune into when you're connected to your body, because your body can feel that. You can't. if you're not connected. You can only feel those things through the body. So whoever, because I've been there, does not believe that these things are possible, oh, it's just stupid, or no, whatever. A lot of men are disconnected. But a lot of men are also getting connected. And these are the two energies. The masculine is the I am. It's the one receiving higher knowledge. It's the one knowing where to go. The feminine is the body. It's all of the things of the lower realm. And the whole point is to connect the two. That's what we're here for. At least that's the game I want to play. I think I'm going to leave it there. I don't want these to become too long, but I wanted to share some things and some connection to Gaia and the angels with you, because they're working with me all the time and I can feel them and I absolutely love them. This is what this whole transition is about, from the dualistic perspective to the non-dualistic, from the dualistic perspective onto the non-dualistic perspective, or the holistic perspective that I like to call it. It's actually being reborn. And what does that mean? It's shifting from being attached to someone else to be connected to God and Gaia as your caregivers. That's really what this is about. That's what is meant to happen with all humans. But that hasn't happened with many humans because of this artificial system. And I've been in a process where I know what it takes to connect, because I've done it. And it is a wonderful journey to undertake. It's a much more interesting life than you can have in any other energy loop, is what I call it. Like these energy loops of like if someone this is like it now, it seems like a joke, although I've lived my entire life like this up until a couple of years ago. But I feel that it's ridiculous to go around doing the same thing in the same patterns, talking with this maybe different person, but about the same thing, in the same habits, in the same loops, in the same, everything is just the same but different people. Like, then you're just on the same frequency. You're not going up, you're not going down, you're just the same. That's boring to me. Especially when I know you can do something different to embody who you really are. And some beings think that this is only about creating a different personality. And it is sort of like that, but there's also a really deep process of connecting your soul to your body so that you really can land who you really are here. And it's not necessarily who you really are, it's who your body really is. That's the first step when you land. It's you realize who your body really is and what is the difference between you and the body, and that becomes really highly enhanced, where your body is not having the right I don't know if you can hear that, but it is this gecko again. It's like, yeah. It's an encouragement, I feel, from Gaia. Because Gaia inspires these beings. Because when we are connected like this, and all animals are connected like that, they can't not be. Because they don't have this logical mind that can get in the way of that pure connection. So they are connected. So wonderful just to sit there. It becomes a totally different game then when you're connected to your body, because then it doesn't really become so much about what I say. Gaia is confirming, because it's about a frequency. And so I can just sit here and just be here, and you can adjust yourself to connect with this energy that I'm feeling with Gaia. It's a totally different game. It's a frequency game, and we can all adjust to frequency. This is why you're getting drawn to certain people, because they're having more light in a certain area than you. That's what attraction is. Although when it comes to attraction, sometimes it's still a lot of manipulation, especially in the dualistic perspective. And I'm not interested in that game. I'm only interested in playing this game. Connected to Gaia, connected to my guides, to do what I'm called to do here. I feel that I had some things that I was just about to say, but I also feel that I don't have to complete anything, because it is a continual share, all of these things. And it is mostly about a frequency. But I know that I can oh, this is so beautiful. Oh. You know what it is? It's my body wants to look at that. That's what it is also. And how much I want to complete all of the things that I've started. I also want to just sit there and watch the rest of the sunset. So I'm wishing you a wonderful rest of your day or evening, wherever it is for you. And if you're interested in more of this information, I invite you to join the newsletter so that you at least get to stay up to date with what's going on from my side. Because it is mostly through the newsletter that I will be communicating things that is special, certain alchemical things that I want to share with you guys. Sometimes some offers, sometimes it's just some gifts that I want to give because I want to make sure that you guys are staying on top of what's important. So if you're interested in joining me and the gecko, if you heard him, her, I'm not sure, I don't want to go general on this, then please join. There's a link in the description. I just want to share a few things about being a multi-dimensional being, because that's what I realized that I am. I receive a lot of information from many different aspects. That's really what this is, and that's why I can sometimes seem a bit scattered, because I'm receiving a lot of different things, and so a lot of different beings that wants to share things. And sometimes I start something and then I jump to something else because that's more important. That's important to comprehend. Okay, let me try and explain this. So, being multidimensional means that I receive a lot of different things from a lot of different energies. And when I'm in explaining one thing, I see that there's a link to something else that needs to be shared for that other thing to make sense if I should continue. This is really the most effective way to learn, really, because we don't get bored. It sort of mimics this fast, shorts, attention span kind of thing. Because if we just go in one single straight line, we get bored. That's why this quick jump from this to the other, then it keeps your attention span up. So we're meant to learn a little bit more like this, where it's one thing and then suddenly I might jump to another thing, and then suddenly I might jump to another thing, and then sometimes it gets wrapped up by the end of the video, but sometimes things are left open that I might cover in other videos. And this is how it can operate sometimes. And I've learned to, well, in the beginning I was judging that this is not good and all of those things, because all of the videos that you see are very sophisticated and it's very well, and I could do stuff like that. I have done stuff like that. But I'm also more interested in landing to the most natural flow that I can while receiving channeling, higher frequencies. And so sometimes it is a little bit like that. So if I left you hanging on certain areas, just tell me in the comment section. If you do that, I will definitely make a note and just like, cool, someone is paying attention. Well, that's first. Someone's paying attention. Someone is curious to know more about this. And so naturally, when you have a question, life provides an answer. It can come through other beings. It can come through here. It can come through another being. Maybe sometimes it can come through some random event that you could never foresee. This is Gaia, life in Gaia, answering. You're always connected to your guides. You're always connected to Gaia. But you can realize that you're connected, and you can experience that connection much deeper than you are. It's impossible to be alive here without being connected. But that stream can be thin or it can be wide, depending on how aligned your body is to truth energetically. That's what I wanted to share. Ciao.